Hello, good evening, happy Thursday. Welcome to the Daphnée and Daphnée show. My name is Daphnée Antoine.
And I am Daphnée Camilien.
Hello, welcome. You know what time it is, you know what we do. We are all about bringing you valuable information to help you and your family thrive. So, we are on a series of real estate. So, whether you are an investor, want to be an investor, an agent, or trying to be a homeowner, this is the conversation for you. So, let me have Attorney Chameleon. Maybe we want to do disclosure, right? Yeah. Yes,
Sure.
we do a disclosure. Let me have Attorney Chameleon do the disclosure for us this evening.
Sure. My name once again is Daphnée Camilien. I'm an attorney. Anything that I say does not enter the audience member and myself in any type of attorney-client relationship. Daphnée Antoine is a financial entrepreneur. Anything she says doesn't enter anyone into any type of fiduciary duty with her, and as well as any guests that we have. We have our guest tonight, Miss Laurie Joseph. Any information she gives is for information and entertainment purposes only. Back to you, Daphnée.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So come in the room, share, ask question because again, this is gonna be a valuable information, especially if you're on the market to become a new homeowner. We have a special treat for you. So with that being said, let me go ahead and introduce our guest this evening, and it is none other than Joseph. So let me give you a little background about Laurie. Laurie is the founder of Haitian Realty and creator of the real estate around me coloring books for kids. Her mission is to use her skills as a college professor and her knowledge as real estate, working as a realtor to educate. I don't want to say Haitian diaspora, but everyone on the importance of home ownership. But yes, she does have a special heart for the Haitian community. Let me put it like that. So please welcome Laurie Joseph.
Hello.
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 Thank you, Daphnée and Daphnée, for
Exactly. Daphnée and Daphnée show. So thank you for being our guest this evening. I'm gonna have you introduce yourself to our audience right now.
sure. My name is Laurie Joseph. I am a realtor in the Southwest Florida area. I am mostly known for being the owner of Haitian Realty, a company that is pushing for Haitian homeownership through education in our mother language, right? In Creole, because one of the main barrier in the diaspora when it comes to homeownership is the language. We don't understand it, and the transaction is very, long and can be intimidated if you do not understand it. So we come in and we say, we have professionals that can help you in your language to make you more comfortable and therefore access homeownership a lot more than if you did not understand. And I also I have a coloring book. I believe that homeownership starts with education at home with the children. It's never too early to introduce homeownership to your kids. Um, I push for homeownership at all costs. Okay, the children, the adults, everyone is learning about homeownership. I'm happy to be here tonight to talk about the 5 mistakes that you should not make when purchasing your home.
Sure. We are eager to learn about the 5 pitfalls to avoid when you're buying a home. So why don't you start? Like, what's the step one?
Step one, the main thing that I would say, the major mistake that a lot of people make, well, let me not say a lot of people. One that you should not make is not using a real estate professional, a realtor. 90% of the population in the US, that's not including only Haitians, everyone, 90% use a realtor. Okay? So if you're not using a realtor, there's a big issue there. Only 10% of people do not use a realtor in the US to purchase a home. Instead, they'll contact the owner directly. or it'll be for sale by owners, contacting the owner directly. But 90% of the population, when purchasing a home, use a real estate professional to do it because it is a complicated process that involves so many different things. You need someone to guide you through that process. So therefore, having an experienced real estate professionals, I would say, would be a major mistake not to make, or a major pitfall. You need a professional to guide you through that process. So I would say that is number one.
Why do you think people don't use a realtor?
Um, sometimes it's, people think they can actually do it themselves. Or they have a family member who has done it and tell them, oh, you can just do it yourself. And if it's been, I mean, according to NOR, 90% people use a realtor, and the 10% who do not use tend, for example, a for sale by owner, for example, they tend to stay longer on the market, and owner tends to actually not make as big as of a profit if they use a realtor. Although they still pay realtor fee, they still end up making more profit if they use a real estate professional. So sometimes it's, people feel like they can do the work of a professional. People may say, I don't need an attorney to do this. I can do it myself. No, just attorneys are there for a reason. They went to school for a reason. Or, I don't need a doctor to treat my, whatever disease you have. These people have gone to school and received extensive training to do what they do. So we trust them to do the work. And it's the same. Realtors, we have done through training, have gained our licenses through the state to do what we do. So people do think it's easy, but obviously it is not.
Right, right.
So
And
I'm
I
here.
would, I was sorry, I was going to say real quick, and I would think that whatever 3 to 5%, they're thinking that they might be able to save, so they think that they don't want to pay the realtor out, but it's out of the fees that they, yeah, it's such a big
Exactly. It's been
transaction.
shown that for sale by owners make less profit on their home than if they were to use a
A
realtor.
realtor, right?
Yeah.
And so that'll be more apply when you say, like you see 10% of people do not use a realtor, and I'm assuming you're talking on the seller side, correct? Not on the buyer side, because
Buyers
would you
as well.
want buyers
10%
as
of
well?
buyers do not use a realtor, even though it's not free on the buyer's side. We tend to tell buyers that, just get a realtor. You don't pay for it. But, in reality, there are many lawsuits going on right now with NAR, and Daphnée the realtor may be aware of them. But a lot of sellers are suing, NAR and these other entities because they say that we're stealing their money. Sellers are paying 6%. We're telling buyers that it's free, but it's not free. In reality, the sellers are paying an agent, for example, myself, to sell their home. In turn, I'm paying another agent to bring me an able buyer. So we tend to say that the buyer side is free. Every buyer should just use one. Why not? You're not really paying for it, but the seller is paying. So using a realtor as a home buyer should be a no-brainer. You should use a realtor on the buyer side, especially because obviously the fee is not coming from your pocket. That is one. And they're available to you, at no cost. So,
Awesome. So what is the pitfall number two, the second pitfall that you see home buyer people make when purchasing a home or selling a home?
when buying a home, a lot of buyers they don't even know what their credit is like. They don't know what it is. They don't know what their credit is like. As a person living in the US, you're constantly using other people's money through, credit cards, through business loan. You constantly, we don't have that kind of money in the bank. So your credit should be checked once a year. It's so important to the point that the government has a website designed just for that, for you to go for free and check your credit once a year. So a lot of home buyers get the surprise when they realize they don't have good credit, or there's, like, I have buyers who realize that someone actually stole their,
Oh wow.
identity, and have some, things in their credit that they had no idea about. I mean, it's been there for a while. You should check your credit once a year, always, to make sure that everything is what it should be. So your credit profile is so important. It's one of the main determining factor when purchasing a home. It determines your interest rate, which then determines how much you pay monthly. If you don't have good credit, you tend to have, the highest interest rate, therefore the highest payment monthly. So your credit is, let me see how many home buyers use loans. I believe the number is at 92% of buyers in the US use a mortgage versus, cash. So credit is so important that I don't know how to stress this out enough. You need to check your credit profile once a year leading to you purchasing a home. Knowing that and perfecting your credit will then allow you to have a better interest rate.
That's a great tip.
So how early in the process you think someone should start looking into the credit, making sure that the credit is up to par?
To be honest, if you're a person in the US, it doesn't matter how old you are. You're 18, you're 21. Sooner or later, you're purchasing a home. So you might as well keep that credit up to par, like every time. Doesn't matter if you're purchasing a home, your credit should be good, because all the time you're borrowing money. We don't have the cash to purchase anything. Everyone has a credit card. Everyone purchases, cars. Everyone has something on their credit. So your credit is so important, not just for home buying. I mean, it's extra important for home buying, but it's so important that you should check it every year. So as parents, we have to teach our kids to, check their credit. Once they turn 18, they have a credit, or six, I think it starts at 16. They have a credit card, start checking it, share. I think the website is, what is the free website? Is it free?
Annual credit report that,
Annual credit
yeah.
report by the government. So check that. It's free once a year. Pull it out, print it out, sit down, look at it, figure out what's wrong, discrepancies.
Yeah,
Just, keep
annualcredit.com.
it healthy.
So just maintaining your credit is key. So it's not like, oh, 5 months before I'm gonna look for a house, I need to have it. You should already know your credit score. You should be maintaining your credit on a consistent basis so that you're ready to go when you do that house buying.
Absolutely.
Right. Great tip.
Yeah.
Pitfall number 3.
Number 3, I have not having a budget.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna tell you
yes.
that a lot of people that I work with do not have a budget. It's rare to find. I'm gonna say this year I've had probably 3 couples that came to me with an actual budget, and I have a free, what is the word, like a file. So if a couple comes to me and I see that it's, a married couple, they're both working professionals, I tend to send them this, a template. Say, hey, before we start looking, it's time to figure out what actually, I mean, you're gonna get qualified for a certain amount, but should you spend that whole amount? Should you maybe spend half of it for now? And it's not your first home is not your dream home, right? First home, we need to look at the finances a lot harder, because then it becomes easier. So I say a lot harder because the first one, is where probably you're spending the most money, because when you're getting the second home, you have equity in your favor, you have value going up in your favor. But for that first one, you tend to be kind of on your own. So it's time to really look at your budget and say, man, I'm qualified for 500,000. Does my budget allow that? So having a budget is probably the main thing that I'm working on at the moment with professional couples. I say professional because it's not easy to keep track of a budget. It's not easy to put a budget together. Um, so the professionals that have graduated from college, I'm just expecting to know how to actually manage and keep a budget. So I would tend to send it to them just to go through the different types of expenses that they may face when they purchase a home. So having good standard practice of keeping track of your money may be what gets you that second home, that third one, that fourth one, by just keeping track of your money and knowing where it's going, and not going over budget. The rule is, do not spend your whole check on your home. You should never, because there's life. You have to pay for food, for electricity, for you name it, gas in your car, your children, your everything. So knowing not to be house poor before going out and getting that home, purchasing a home, is one of the most important things we can think about. Because
I,
if you don't, then you think that you have to keep up with, the Joneses, then you overspending for no reason at all.
that's a that's a really holistic approach to real estate, because I was gonna say most realtors want your pre-approval letter, and if your pre-approval letter says that you're approved, for example, for 300,000, they go with that. So they're showing you homes that are 300,000, 315, 275, but they don't go the step further, which is like, okay, you're pre-approved for this, but can you actually afford this and be able to pay your bills? And like you said, not be house poor, have a house, but you can't do anything else because you can't afford anything else. So that's a huge thing that you're doing, and having couples do a budget and see, like,
Yeah.
because we already know, like, for example, if you're approved for 300,000 with the interest rates now, your house payment, who knows, can be like 2,500, whatever it is, and with everything, and then you might not really be able to afford it. Maybe you need to look for a house that's 250 or 225, because you might be struggling once you get that house. So that's a great idea. That's a really great way to do for your customers.
Yes. One of my first questions is usually, how much are you comfortable with paying monthly? Because sometimes we see the number and the homes are nice at 400,000 and 500, but when I tell them what the mortgage is, it's usually a shock. It's usually, what, 3,000? It's, yeah, the home is 400,000, at interest rate is at 7%. Insurance have skyrocketed. I mean, I'm in Florida, so insurance is high. And if you have flood insurance, you have two types of insurance: flood, you have homeowners, you have your PMI. These numbers do add up. Homeownership is beautiful, but we cannot be poor just to become homeowners. There
Right.
are other things in life. So, just like, sometimes I send them back to the lender and say, go and ask them what your mortgage would be like at this price. All right. So you want to buy a 450,000 home? Trust me, as a realtor, all I want to do is sell 450 homes. That's all I want to do. I want to sell a 500,000, 600,000. But I want you to not, hate me on the second month in that home when you get that bill and it's, your mortgage is 3,500 a month.
Right.
Right? Are you ready for that? Did you think that's what it was gonna be? Is it the whole check? What is it like? Because yes, the bank looks at numbers before they give you that letter, but be realistic as well. right? A lot of time we do hide things from the bank when we're getting qualified. There's a lot of bills that do not go into that number, so they're not even aware of them. They're not aware of your spending as much as you think. So they're missing on a lot of numbers that they don't know. Your life is a lot more expensive than the banks think, because some numbers are not even accounted for in that pre-approval. So think about it. A budget is key.
Which is key.
I do want you maybe to clarify a little bit because I know when you're saying a budget is key, and then that you speak with your clients regarding the budget. I think we have to clarify that it's not the current budget, but then it's the estimated future budget as well. Because oftentimes people see, okay, buying a house is only the mortgage, which sometimes include the taxes and the insurance. But then a lot of time people are not looking into especially the other costs that they may not have to pay for when they're renters, like your water bill, garbage, and landscaping. So all the extras that people do not account for, I think that we should definitely break it down to them. I had a conversation with a family member who was interested in purchasing a home, and then I'm like, "What's your budget?" And then it's not your budget right now, but then what's gonna be your future budget after you buy this home, and you have to include all those stuff that you never had to pay for when you were a renter. So I definitely applaud you for having this conversation with your clients.
Absolutely. I mostly have it not with the older Haitians. They honestly tend to not um take it seriously. But the younger professionals that are building up, that just started out, they do tend to take this very seriously. And I promise you, it's not that many. I can count since the year started. Only three couples have actually sat down and did this. So it's tedious to do at the beginning, but it's extremely rewarded.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And this person I spoke with, they took a pause. People will pause when it's, oh, okay, I didn't see it like that.
Mhm.
And then so obviously buying a home is rewarding, but then you don't wanna like you said.
Yeah, you don't need to buy an expensive home now. A lot of
Yeah.
couples think that the dream home is the first home. It is not. It is okay to purchase within your budget. It is okay to purchase a two-bedroom for now and then buy the four-bedroom in the future. It is okay to do that and to measure what you can actually afford. Still need to go on vacation, they'll need to invest
Yeah.
and save money for your kids' college funds and things like that. So it's important.
Just gonna do a real short recap for those of you who are just joining us. This is the Daphne and Daphne show. Thank you for joining us. I'm live with my co-host, attorney Daphnée Camilien, and we have a special guest with us, Miss Laurie Joseph, who is teaching us or talking to us about the 5 pitfalls that future homeowners must avoid when buying a house. So feel free to ask your questions if you're in the market to buy a home, or maybe you know someone who this conversation may be helpful for. We encourage you to go ahead and share it. It's a lot of valuable information. And then so please go ahead and do us a favor and share and comment and be part of the conversation. And so now, Miss Daphne, do you have any questions before we go to the fourth one?
Nope, she covered it all.
Awesome. So now Joseph Laurie is gonna give us the 4 pitfalls that future homeowner must avoid.
Okay. For number four, I really thought about it. And as much as I preach budget and I preach not being house poor, I also preach not waiting for too long. I preach you know, waiting for too long is a mistake. You're married, you've been married for years. Why is it that on your 10th year anniversary you're purchasing a home together as a couple? Um And I know a lot of times we go back to number 3, where you're, in your head, you need to purchase that dream home. That is not how it works. You could have started with a condo. You do not need to start with your dream home. Start with something that in the next 5 years you can actually sell and purchase that home, or in the next 10 years. So let's say you waited 10 years to purchase your home as a couple. In that 10 years, you could have built enough equity and enough value in that home to actually purchase the next home easier than if you just waited to purchase that home. So waiting for too long, especially for couples that are established, is a big mistake, waiting for too long to purchase. I mean, I know couples that are renting lavish apartments, cannot save to purchase a home. So you're waiting, and no one understands what you're waiting for. The best decision is to buy what you can buy at the moment. It's to buy. It's to always buy, except buy within your means. It's to always buy it and then progress in the future, right? Progress in the future. You'll make it. You'll be able to buy that dream home. So waiting for too long.
Wait.
It's number 4.
Yeah, seizing opportunity as it comes to you.
Absolutely. You do not need to wait 15 years in your marriage.
You know what? No, and also let me ask you, what are your thoughts about the interest rate? So you know how people are using that as an excuse not to purchase property, because they're saying, well, they're going to wait till the interest rates go down, or there's going to be a housing crash at like 2008, and they're going to be able to buy houses for $1. So what are your
wish? Don't we all wish?
Sign me up. Put me in the dollar list.
What are your thoughts on that?
Interest rate is high, and everything is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have a bigger crisis in the U.S. We have a housing shortage. So usually in the real estate market, when interest rate would go up, because money now is expensive, people have less access to it. Demand becomes a lot lower, so prices then would drop, which is economics.
Mm-hmm.
However, right now we are in a special situation where, although the interest rate is high, we can still see prices are still going up because there's a shortage. There's not enough houses currently in the market to actually meet the needs. So, to the people that are waiting, obviously, if you've been waiting for 2 years, you're going to continue waiting for that time. And the people in the business, they don't know when, no one knows what interest rate is going to be like next month. Okay, mm-hmm. Interest rate can be controlled by the government, obviously, but we don't know no one knows what it's going to be next month until next month actually comes. So the time you've been waiting for interest rate to go down, you could have purchased that home and built equity. Mm-hmm. And when the interest rate come and drop, you refinance that home. But in the meantime, you were already building your equity. You already had a home, you're building equity. And another thing too that can happen if because I don't know, I don't know the future. If interest rates ever go down, what do you think is going to happen to home prices? Because now money is going to be cheaper, more people will have access to it, prices is going to rise. You're going back, I remember when, during COVID, when rate was at a 2-3%, everybody could qualify for any quantity. Remember prices? Remember they used to call it, what did they used to call it? The war, I think it was the Daphnée, what was the name? We had a war happening. Like people had to put 10 offers to finally.
It was very competitive. Yes.
we will be back to that. And in the meantime, you could have been in your home, on your couch, refinancing that home and not being in the bidding war.
Right.
So it's always the best decision to purchase. There
That's
are ways to decrease that interest rate. You can purchase points to decrease that interest rate, to make sure that your payment is not as high as it would be.
a higher down payment.
A higher down payment can help as well,
Mm-hmm.
but not purchasing is a huge mistake. Waiting for a possible crash is a huge mistake. So always purchase now. The investors, they're not waiting for a crash.
Mm-mm.
The people who constantly purchase, and they're not waiting. They're purchasing and they're waiting for the rate to drop so that they can refinance if the rate ever drops. And honestly, a 7% is not high compared to 13. I think I posted about this maybe a couple months ago, the history of interest rate. We think 7% is high. It used to be 16% for Christ's sake, and people were still buying. So what's stopping you from buying at 7%? I think we got really, what is the word? We babied
Comfortable.
up, comfortable in the three. Think it's gonna
3.5.
stay forever. No, no. Usually it's never at that low. So people are used to the 10, to the 9. It's the real estate market in the US. We cannot do anything.
Yeah, we had Mika on last week. She's an investor as well. She said the same thing. Basically, the same thing you're saying now is like, that's how it's been, a few years ago. So it's nothing new.
It's not new.
It is not new. So, close us out with number 5, the fifth pitfall that future homeowner must avoid when buying a house.
Okay. Um I put the last one because I do tend to preach it a lot. That's probably one of my motto. I do push it out a lot I want them to think differently. And my biggest pitfall would be to think that that home is the only home you're purchasing in your life.
Yeah.
That cannot be. You cannot think. Especially now where there's access to information. You have, literally grab your phone, you have access to absolutely everything. Purchasing that one home cannot be the end, especially if, I do tend to target couples, and I do tend to target, young professionals. As young professionals living in the US, Haitian, that first one cannot be the end. So thinking that that home you're purchasing is something that I honestly am trying to push to anyone. Usually after I close on a home with a client, my next step is giving you a list of different ways you can actually go now and invest in real estate. That doesn't require a whole transaction. Or maybe you're thinking of purchasing a piece of land, or maybe you want to buy your first investment property. And, going into real estate thinking that this is it, I'm purchasing my home, I'm living in it, and I'm done. That has to be one of the biggest mistakes people make. They think this is it. And it's been shown time and time again money is part of life. You need money to live. If you're a couple and your goal is to make your family, leave a legacy, leave your children with something, live comfortably, you have to think of ways to actually invest your money. And it's been shown time and time again that real estate is one of the sure ways to do it. So as a realtor, that's what I push. I'm pretty sure there are other ways to do it. But as a realtor and as a real estate pusher, I don't know, advocate, I would push real estate. So I would say a big mistake with trying to remove is not, this is not it. Yeah, you purchase your first home, but there's so much more to do. Let's keep going. Let's do some more. Let's buy some more properties. unconventional, but that's one of the mistakes that I see a lot in, especially my clients. So,
Yeah.
So if
So,
I have
go ahead.
if I have to wrap it up, I say have a goal, have a house goal. Yeah, that's what you're saying right now.
have a real estate investment goal.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Have purchasing your home is beautiful, but purchasing the next one is even sweeter. Investing $50 a month in real estate is even sweeter. Those are things that you can pass on to your children. These are investment that brings you, I mean, they are concrete, like you can touch your investment. It's not investing in Bitcoin or stock market, or it's these are actual things that you can actually see. You can actually see it. So I mean, on it, I could be biased because I'm a realtor, right? I'm biased. I won't be able to buy houses, but we have to get our clients to think that purchasing your first home is not it. We want you to keep going. There's so much more real estate to be involved in, and it's been proven that real estate is the surest path to wealth if you want to live comfortably. When it comes to money, of course, there are other aspects to life than money, but if for that part of life, that's important too. For a family, we need to go on vacation. We need a lot of things involved having some form of currency. You need money to do them. So, when it comes to real estate, that's what I push to my clients, and those are mistakes that I don't want them to make at all. Yeah.
No, that's a great tip. Right. Once again, it goes into your holistic real estate. The way you manage your clients and the fact that you're done with the purchase, but don't think this is it. You need to think about investment. You need to think about long-term wealth and how to maintain it and expand it. So real estate is the key, is what I hear you saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, besides those other things, but real estate is the key.
When it comes to building wealth, real estate is the key.
It's the key.
It is. Too many ways. Too many ways to do it.
Thank you so much for coming and
Absolutely.
sharing the 5 tips. We'll just go over it real quick. The first one is not using a realtor. The second one is buyers are unaware of their credit score. Third one is not having a budget. The fourth one is not waiting for too long to purchase a property. And the fifth one is looking at the big picture. The home you're purchasing is not the end of your home buying journey. So those are excellent tips that you've provided us. Thank you so much. And I hope that I was going to say the readers, I hope that the audience out there, I hope that the audience out there got those tips and will utilize that.
I hope so too. And thank you so much, ladies, for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with the Daphnés. And by the way, how did you guys end up having the same name and meeting each other to have this show? This is perfect.
It's a literally a legal name.
Yeah, so it's just an interesting coincidence. Is we actually spell it the same way too.
Same way.
Same way.
Yeah. So it's just a coincidence. We met and then we decided to do a podcast. But yeah, it was just really cool that we had the same name. So we're like, why don't we utilize it?
Right.
Daphnée.
It's beautiful. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do want to add a bonus tip or pitfall. As a homeowner, I would say don't just take the word of the inspector. Okay. Do your own due diligence, okay, when buying a home. And if you have any, I guess, concern about a particular item in the house and you're not too sure, I would say get a professional. For example, if it's like your water heater or your heater or water boiler, whatever it is, and you feel like, okay, this is a second look, don't just listen to whatever the inspector say. Get your professional opinion. That's my 2 cents. And check every check every what do you call those items, Daphne? The
With
microwave, the fridge, and
not the utilities, but just like appliances.
appliances.
Mhm.
Check every appliances. Make sure they're working. I promise you.
Oh, Lord.
Avoid that pitfall. That's my 2 cents.
Well, a lot of homeowners, remember back in COVID, people would bypass their inspection. So you're
Yeah.
telling them to be extra cautious right now. And
Extra.
just 2 years ago, people literally would bypass inspection. Remember,
Oh yeah,
people
because of the
saying,
bidding war. Because of the bidding war, it's like I want it.
correct.
Give it to
Yeah.
me. Like I don't care, and I'm paying like 10 grand more than you're asking for.
Yep. That sure was. Yep.
It's like
I don't need an inspection. That house looks perfect. Was built in the 1980s. It's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. People would bypass their whole inspection and then pay more for the home. And if you want to avoid that, purchase now. Okay.
yeah.
Purchase now while interest
Yeah.
rate is slightly higher. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again, Laurie. This was a Daphne and Daphne show, and obviously, Laurie, you have as a matter of fact, two programs or way people can connect with you or can support what you are doing. So if you can quickly share that to anyone who wants to connect with you.
Yeah, my page is Haitian Realty. Anywhere, I mean, any platform, type Haitian Realty, you're gonna find me. I'm the only person named Haitian Realty. Um, I think right now I'm a lot more active on Instagram and TikTok. But I'm anywhere, If you go on any pages, you'll see my phone number, you'll see email. So go on Facebook, type Haitian Realty, go on Instagram, type Haitian Realty, go on TikTok, LinkedIn, anywhere, you'll find me. I'm there.
And you have the coloring book on Amazon.
Yes, my coloring book is on Amazon Prime. So if you want it tomorrow, you order right now. Most likely it'll be at your door tomorrow afternoon. Amazon is getting a lot quicker now. You order in the morning, it's here at night. So yes, it's on Amazon, and go
And
and
I
order
just put
for
the
your
link too.
nieces. Huh?
I just put the link in the comment. Yeah, so
Thank
you can
you.
just click on the link. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's will it stay the
And
one make follow.
Christmas is coming. It's a great gift for your nieces, for your, little cousins. Give them the gift of, knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Give them the gift of knowledge, which is the gift that Daphne and I are doing this evening. The gift of knowledge, bringing amazing guests who can share the knowledge with you, and then you can do the same, apply and also share with one another. So that being said, this was a Daphne and Daphne show. You can connect with Attorney Camillian at chameleonlaw.com. Yep,
Yes.
communalaw.com. And then you can reach out to me at antoineresources.com. They're actually on the description of this live. So any question you may have legal wise, feel free to reach out to Attorney Chameleon. And if you are interested in launching a business from home, reach out to me at antoineresources.com. And if you are a realtor in the Haitian community, definitely connect with Laurie at HaitianRealty.com so you can be part of this network. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Daphne. And we will see you all next week at 8 p.m. once again. And our conversation is going to be regarding how to protect your assets and saving money and as well as your legacy for the future. Have a wonderful evening, Daphne and
Good night.
Daphne. Signing out. Bye for now.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you for the likes and the love. Please share and comment. Bye bye.